horrible scenes on a California freeway Tuesday. We warn you, of course, this video could be very upsetting. 3 people were killed when a semi-truck driven by an illegal immigrant plowed into traffic just east of Los Angeles. It's the most recent of several incidents across the country that we've been reporting on for you here. And William Lajeunesse is in L.A. with more. Hi, William.
Well, Dana, sources say the driver is a 21-year-old illegal immigrant caught and released at the California border by the Biden administration in March of 2022. Yet the state of California gave Jashanpreet Singh, an Indian national living near San Francisco, a commercial driver's license. CHP charged him with DUI and multiple counts of vehicular manslaughter while intoxicated. He's expected in court today. So the crash happened Tuesday on the 10 freeway outside L.A. Singh, in an 18-wheeler, made no attempt to slow down, slamming into the back of an SUV before plowing into multiple other vehicles in the same lane. He then crashed into 2 more trucks on the shoulder.
The driver was transported for injuries to a local hospital, and at the hospital he was arrested for driving under the influence of drugs.
So illegal immigrants and foreign nationals who can't speak English or read road signs getting into deadly crashes, all too common. A few months ago, you remember this Indian national killed 3 in Florida, making an illegal U-turn. Florida is suing California for giving him a CDL. According to the federal audit, California issued 62,000 commercial driver's licenses to those who are not citizens or permanent residents. Now, in California also gave a CDL to a semi-driver here accused in this crash that killed a motorist in Texas. The trucker only spoke Mandarin. All Tuesday, ICE put a detainer on this illegal immigrant from Serbia who ran his truck into oncoming traffic and killed an Indiana man. And then check out this post last week from Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy of a foreign driver headed into oncoming traffic.
You are going the wrong way down the freeway. You are committing a felony right now.
Okay, what I'm doing, sir?
Well, one, why the going the wrong way down the freeway?
Got that right? I'm doing it back.
So DOT calls this a national emergency. Recently, they imposed a ban on giving out new CDLs to non-U.S. residents, singled out California for having loose verification and documentation and skills test. Dana?
All right, William, thank you.
I want to bring in Bill Iseli, U.S. Attorney for the Central District of California. Bill, nice to see you again. Thanks for coming back on our show. I want to give more on this DUI arrest. He had to be traveling at a fast rate of speed. What happened here?
Yeah, I spoke to the DA. My understanding is he was traveling at a fast rate of speed and he did not apply his brakes at all. They do suspect he was under the influence of some type of stimulant. They are waiting for that toxicology report. I do suspect he will be charged with vehicular homicide. However, we're also looking at charges. We're opening an investigation to understand how he obtained a commercial driver's license from the state of California as an illegal immigrant, and we want to understand whether anyone in the DMV was complicit in issuing that driver's license to him.
Okay, that's just one case now. What about this 44-year-old TikToker? Who apparently showed up at ICE raids and filed them online with video and pictures, etc. Here is Todd Lyons. He was on our show yesterday talking about that.
This person received an award from the city of Los Angeles for documenting ICE law enforcement activities. Almost daily, we have 2 to 3 of these ramming incidents, which is a deadly force. You know, and it's putting our officers and agents at risk. And even though we're at 1,000% assaults on officers, I guarantee it's more than that, because every day my office is constantly dealing with reports from the field about these criminally illegal aliens either fighting with officers, trying to ram vehicles, or even worse.
Yeah, and he says that's just entirely unacceptable. What do you do about it?
Well, we're charging him. He is being charged with assault with a deadly weapon. He will be facing up to potentially 20 years in federal prison. He could have just been deported. I mean, had he just complied and gone willingly, he would have just been deported. But Bill, you've got the politicians here in California just the day before holding a press conference with congressional Democrats saying how they're being terrorized by federal agents, and they're emboldening and encouraging the public to resist federal agents. And that's what they're doing when he's flooring his car at our agents. That is a deadly weapon. Not only will you face prosecution, but you might get shot like he did. So they're really endangering the lives not only of the law enforcement officers, but of these illegal immigrants as well.
Okay, but he's a private citizen, right? Or he was legal. Is that right? He was legally here?
No, he's an illegal immigrant.
Okay,
He's an illegal immigrant. And
okay,
yeah.
Noted. The reason why I make that distinction is because There are members of government now, Democrats, who are trying to establish these websites where people can report where ICE is working, okay? Here is a teacher in Los Angeles, which sounds really like a bit of a veiled threat to me. Listen here.
Don't forget where you're standing. This is South Central Los Angeles. They are not the only ones with guns in this city. They're not the only ones, and don't forget that. And I don't say that because we're calling for violence. I'm saying that because the people have every right to defend themselves against masked, unidentified gunmen.
So they're not the only ones with guns in this city.
It's very dangerous, potentially criminal rhetoric, and he's not the only one say it. You have other elected officials who repeat the same thing he does. So we are going to take a look at not only his statements but other people's statements. But that's the type of rhetoric, reckless rhetoric, that we're seeing out of leaders here in California.
Okay, if they set up a website, even a politician, Letitia James is threatening to do this. If they create an app, can you shut it down?
You know, context will matter. If the intention of the app is to interfere and impede in law enforcement activities, we have a federal statute that prohibits that, and I will not hesitate to use that statute here in the Central District of California. But really, it's going to be based on the facts and how they actually apply and use this app that they want to make.
Billy Saley, thank you for your time, sir, and we'll see what comes next, and there will be something. Thank you, sir, for coming on. Nice to see you.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.